show of defiance in Parliament Square today. Friends, and look up, the sun is shining on all of us. A good omen, I think, for our cause and for our struggle. But friends, by turning up today, we have made a commitment. We have made a pledge. We have made an oath that we will not accept working people, disabled people, unemployed people being made to pay for a crisis they had absolutely nothing to do with. We say this: we will not accept the wealth of the top 1,000 people doubling in 5 years, whilst living standards fall for the longest period since Queen Victoria sat on the throne of this country. We say this: we will not accept blame and responsibility being deflected from those at the top to people's neighbours down the streets, unemployed people, immigrants and public sector workers. But we say this as well, and friends, this is so important, because there's so much fear out there, there's so much anger, but there's one thing missing: hope. And what happens when you strip hope away? UKIP happens. Now friends, they posture as the anti-establishment party. It's comical, it's beyond satire. A party led by a privately educated ex-city trader. But here's the thing, not only do they want to slash taxes on those at the top, not only do they want to dismantle our NHS in a way this government could never even imagine, not only do they want to strip what remaining rights they have, we have to say to people, they're letting those at the top off the hook. So let's say this to people: who is responsible for the mess this country is in? Is it the Polish fruit picker? Is it the Nigerian cleaner? Is it the Indian nurse? Or is it the bankers who plunged this country into economic disaster? Is it the tax dodgers who are hoarding £25 billion each and every year? Is it the poverty-paying bosses who have left people languishing, unable to look after themselves? Is it the private landlords who are milking the system and charging rip-off rent? Those are the people responsible for the mess that this country is in. Now friends, all of the people at the top are trying to turn us against each other with this politics of envy. So we must have a message of hope, of courage and of solidarity. That is what today is all about. Now friends, not only have they failed on their own terms, they've added more debt in 4 years than Labour did in 13. They've said they'd wipe out the deficit, they'll be lucky to get through half. They've given us the longest, worst so-called economic recovery since the 19th century. But that's not what this was about. This was an excuse to push policies they always wanted to get away with. The handing off of our NHS to their tax-dodging private healthcare firms. The dismantling of social security. The attack on workers' rights. But friends, this is the country they are building. A country where most people in poverty are in work, earning their poverty day after day after day. Where millions are stuck on social housing waiting lists. Where there's an army of zero-hour contract workers and the self-unemployed. And where 1 million people are now dependent on food banks. This is the 6th richest country on the face of the earth. And the poorest people, supposedly, we can't feed. So let's have this message. For everybody in work, no ifs, no buts, a living wage. That instead of lining the pockets of private landlords with housing benefits, let councils build housing and control our rents. That instead of leaving people with job insecurity, create hundreds of thousands of renewable energy jobs, tax justice, public ownership of our banks and utilities, and let's learn from our ancestors. We stand on the shoulders of giants, the Chartists, the suffragettes, those who felt for workers' rights. It is not for us to let everything our ancestors fought for be stripped away. We stand together, we fight together. Friends, we will win this battle together. Thank you.